How to train your brain to think in English. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're talking about something a lot of English learners struggle with.
Yeah, the big one. Translating in your head.
Exactly. You know when you want to say something in English, but first you think in your language, then translate, and by the time you speak, it's already too late.
Or it just sounds wrong.
So today we're going to talk about how to train your brain to actually think in English.
So first, let's explain the problem. Why is translating bad?
Well, it's not bad, but it slows you down.
Exactly. When you translate, your brain is doing two jobs at once.
Right. Step 1, think in your language. Step 2, translate into English. Step 3, speak.
That's too much work. Native speakers don't do that.
They just think and speak.
So what's the first step?
Start thinking in very simple English.
Like,
Instead of thinking, I need to go to the supermarket because I don't have food at home, just think, I need food. I go to shop.
it sounds basic, but it works.
Exactly. You don't need perfect grammar in your head. You need speed.
This one is powerful.
Yes, talk to yourself in English.
And I know it sounds weird.
It is weird, but it works.
Like when you're walking, you can say, I'm going to work now. It's cold today. I need coffee.
This trains your brain to connect thought to English, not thought to translation.
This one is fun.
Yeah, look around you and name things in English.
Like table, phone, window, chair.
Exactly. And then level up. The phone is on the table. The window is open.
Now you're building sentences without translating.
This is a big problem.
Yeah, people want perfect English before they speak.
But that actually stops progress.
You should focus on communication, not perfection.
Say it wrong, but say it.
Another trick is learning phrases instead of single words.
Yes, like, I don't know. It depends. That makes sense.
These come out automatically.
And that's what you want. Automatic English.
Let's talk about immersion.
This is the fastest way to improve.
Watch videos in English.
Listen to podcasts.
Change your phone language.
Even if you don't understand everything, your brain is learning.
Here's a cool trick.
Ask yourself questions in English.
Like, what am I doing? What do I need? What do I want to eat?
Then answer in English.
What's the biggest mistake learners make?
Waiting too long,
Yes, they study, study, study.
but they don't speak.
Speaking is the most important skill.
So let's summarize.
Think simple.
Talk to yourself.
Use phrases.
Don't aim for perfection.
And surround yourself with English. Here's something interesting. Your brain doesn't actually think in language all the time.
Exactly. A lot of the time, we think in images.
Like if I say apple, you don't think of the word first.
You see the apple.
And that's a powerful trick for learning English.
Instead of translating the word apple from your language,
Connect the image directly to the English word.
so now it's not apple to translation to meaning,
It's image to English word.
and that's much faster.
I think one of the biggest problems learners have is that they're constantly asking themselves, how do I say this in English? And that question itself is the problem. Because what you're really doing is taking a full sentence from your own language and trying to convert it word by word into English. And that process is slow, stressful, and honestly not very effective. What you should be asking instead is something much simpler. What's the easiest way to say this idea in English? Not the perfect way, not the most advanced way, just the simplest. Because real communication doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be clear and fast.
Exactly. And I think a lot of learners don't realize that native speakers simplify all the time. We don't sit there building long, perfect sentences in our heads before we speak. We just go with the idea and express it in the easiest way possible. So instead of thinking, I need to translate this exactly. You should train yourself to think, how can I express this idea quickly in English, even if it's basic? Because that's how you build speed, and speed is what removes translation. Another really important thing is learning to think in chunks instead of individual words. A lot of learners try to build sentences one word at a time, like they're assembling something piece by piece, and that slows everything down. But fluent speakers don't think like that. They think in phrases, ready-made pieces of language that come out automatically. Things like, I don't think so, to be honest, at the end of the day. These are not created in the moment. They're stored in your brain as one unit.
Yeah, and once you start using chunks, something interesting happens. You stop thinking about grammar so much, because the grammar is already inside the phrase. So instead of thinking, okay, subject, verb, structure, you just say the chunk. And that's a huge step toward fluency, because now your brain is working faster and more naturally. Let's talk about shadowing.
One of the best techniques.
You listen and repeat at the same time.
Like copying a native speaker.
Same speed, same rhythm.
And this trains your brain to think faster.
Here's another trick. Think out loud.
Not just in your head, actually speak.
Because speaking activates your brain differently.
Because speaking activates your brain differently.
Let's be real, mistakes will happen.
And that's okay.
Actually, it's necessary.
Because mistakes equals learning.
If you avoid mistakes,
You avoid growth.
consistency matters more than intensity.
Yeah, 10 minutes every day is better than 2 hours once a week.
Build habits. Think in English daily. Speak daily. Listen daily.
Ask yourself questions. What am I doing? What do I need? What should I eat? Then answer in English.
Watch real conversations, not just textbooks. Real English is messy, fast, natural. Something I see all the time is learners trying to translate word for word, and that's where things really start to break down. Because languages don't work like that. The structure is different, the expressions are different, and sometimes even the way ideas are formed is completely different. So when you try to translate directly, you end up with sentences that are technically understandable, but they don't sound natural. And worse, it slows you down because you're constantly checking each word. Instead, you need to focus on meaning. Ask yourself, what is the idea I want to express? And then say it in the simplest English you know. That's how you move forward.
Yes, and I think this is a mindset shift. You're not translating language, you're expressing ideas. And once you understand that, everything becomes easier. You stop worrying about exact translations, and you start focusing on communication. And that's when your English begins to feel more natural.
You know what's interesting? A lot of learners say, I feel tired when I speak English. And that's actually completely normal. Because when you're still translating, your brain is working overtime. It's like doing a workout. You're using muscles that aren't fully trained yet.
Exactly. You're basically forcing your brain to process 2 languages at the same time, and that's exhausting. That's why after even a short conversation, you feel mentally tired. But here's the good news. That tiredness is actually progress.
Yeah, it means your brain is adapting. And the more you practice, the less tired you'll feel.
Eventually, it becomes automatic. And when that happens, speaking English doesn't feel like work anymore. It just feels natural.
Another really important thing is your reaction time. In real conversations, you don't have time to think for 10 seconds.
Exactly. If someone asks you a question, you need to respond quickly. And if you're translating, you're always going to be too slow.
So, a great way to train this is by practicing quick responses, like simple answers. Yes. No. I don't know. Maybe.
And then slowly build from there. I think so. I'm not sure. It depends.
These are small, but they train your brain to react in English instantly without translating.
Hey, quick pause. If you really want to improve your English faster, One-on-one classes can make a huge difference. On Preply, you can choose your own tutor, practice speaking, and get real feedback. You can also get 30% off your first lesson, so it's actually very affordable. And if you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe for more lessons like this. Alright, let's get back to it.
I think one of the biggest shifts happens when English stops being something you study and starts being something you use.
Yes, that's such an important point. If English is only something you open in a book or an app, your brain sees it as a subject.
But if you use it in your daily life, even in small ways, it becomes part of you.
Like thinking in English while walking, listening to English while cooking, or speaking to yourself during the day.
It doesn't have to be perfect or structured. It just has to be consistent.
And over time, your brain starts to treat English as something normal, not something difficult.
You know what frustrates a lot of learners? That moment when you know a word, but you just can't remember it when you need it.
Oh yes, that happens all the time. And it's actually not because you don't know the word, it's because your brain hasn't fully activated it yet.
Exactly. There's a big difference between recognizing a word and using it. You might understand it when you hear it, but when it's your turn to speak, your brain just goes blank.
And that's because speaking requires faster access. Your brain has to find the word instantly, without searching too much.
So the solution is simple but important. You need to use the words more often.
Yes, not just read them, not just hear them, actually say them. Put them into sentences, repeat them, use them in your daily thoughts.
Because the more you use a word, the easier it becomes to access.
And eventually, it becomes automatic.
Here's something interesting. When you speak your native language, you're not thinking about grammar rules, right?
No, not at all. You're just speaking.
Exactly. But when learners speak English, they're constantly thinking about grammar. Is this correct? Is this the right tense?
And that slows everything down.
So instead of focusing on grammar while speaking, focus on meaning.
Grammar will improve over time through exposure and practice.
But fluency comes from flow, not from perfect grammar.
At the end of the day, learning English is a long-term process.
Yes, and that's something people don't always want to hear.
Everyone wants fast results.
But real fluency takes time, consistency, and patience.
And the key is not to give up.
Even on days when it feels difficult.
Because every small step is building something bigger.
And one day, you'll look back and realize how much you've improved.
So, if you take anything from this episode, stop trying to be perfect.
Start thinking in English, even if it's simple.
Because fluency is not about knowing everything.
It's about using what you know.
And the more you use it,
The faster it becomes natural.
keep practicing.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye!
Bye!